Hey everybody, it's Durgan time. Welcome back to another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, Billy Corgan's NWA. Hope everyone's doing okay today. So we're going to be doing another episode of Starrcade as we lead to pretty much the end of the Starrcade run. I believe we have a couple more weeks in our broadcasting deal. Let's see, 21 days, so just a couple more shows, and then we're going to start just doing events. And we also have a event scheduled, NWA Nothing from Something, which will be happening in the second week of June. So we got a couple weeks, basically 2 Starrcades, including this one, to, 3 actually, to kind of ramp up for that. And we got a whole bunch of morale issues. So, finances wise, we're doing better. We're still losing money. We're not doing as bad. We could invest in a location. That might not be a bad idea. So if we did do that, I keep on coming back to this. It just seems so scary to me. 6,500 would really cost us a lot of money right now. All right, so what we're going to do with that is we're going to do that, I think, after the Starrcade is done, and we'll look into that. In the meantime, a little concerned about all these morale issues. So someone in the comments said, as long as really I keep our top performers happy, we will be okay. So Enzo's a little upset. So if I gave him, like, what's the minimum bonus, you think, that can make them happy? 15? Just went from annoyed to irritated here. Let's do another 1,000. Does it stack? Happy. Okay, so it looks like 2,500 will make anybody happy. You know what? Yeah. If someone gives me $2,500 for nothing, I would be super happy too. So I want him to be happy. I want all of us to be happy. Can I get away with 2,000? No. Oh, it's going to cost me more money now. No, he's still just upset. Okay, well, fuck you too. Okay then. Well, all right, I'm not going to give everyone loads of cash. Sammy has big morale issues. What are you so upset about? Angry at being refused a full pay raise. I mean, here. Will this at least bump you from... Yeah, there we go. Good. Okay, that's better. That's definitely better. Backstage is improving. We were at a 22%. So, I mean, some of the improvements that we got just came from some of the people we brought in. Viper's a positive influence. Right now, Ryback is a bad influence. So is Raven. And so what's going on with Raven? Annoyed. If I make him happy, will he no longer be a negative influence? He will not. That is great. Who else? Ryback. Okay. So if I boost this up, I think we'll get better performances from everybody. Let's take a look here. Ryback. You're angry. And he keeps on getting angry that he's being left out the show. I don't think there's much we can do about this here. I can make him a little bit happier, but it's not going to do much. Down to annoyed. Does that do anything for a backstage? No, he's still a negative influence. That's fine. That's fine. You could be grumpy pants. That's no big deal. So we did get some people. We got Ronda Rousey that joined the group. We got Viper. So we talked about it in our backstage a couple weeks, so maybe a week and a half ago, about wanting to boost up our women's division. it does two things for us, which is nice. Is one, a lot of our top tiered women are actually not costing us that much money. That sounded really sexist, but hey, they don't cost as much. They cost about 70 cents on the dollar for men, so that's kind of funny. So Viper, who, well, actually she's not that strong performance, strong physical, 500 per show. So just putting them into the show will cost us a lot less. I mean, strong performance, strong physical from Julie Ho, 240 per show. That's something. That definitely is going to do something to kind of mitigate some of our losses, and we can put on some good performances. And we might focus on that going forward. Now, the other thing I wanted to do, we have a couple titles. We have the Junior, World, Tag, and Women's. Someone suggested adding sort of a mid-card, because the Junior isn't really a mid-card title, right? It's sort of like this flippy guy, junior heavyweight, kind of other division, sort of thinking like similar to like a New Japan, like it's almost like a different weight class. So we're kind of letting it float. It's a floating level one, so it can kind of go up and down. It really depends on the worker and the style that we want. But we don't really have a mid-card belt. So we could probably do well to have an extra belt, and it's not going to kill us. Especially considering the tag team division's been so rough. Look, we've only had 2 freaking tag team champions. Actually, we've had no defenses because we've had no tag teams to be able to defend. It's been crazy. So, we can change that up a bit by maybe adding a new title. And I should have an NWA North American title. Ooh, that is an ugly belt. I'm going to find a better looking belt for that, but boy, all these look horrible. But we're going to get the North American title. So it's going to be singles. It's going to be limited to men because we don't have integrated wrestling. No weight limits, and its function is going to be mid-card. So I don't think we have to do a tournament title or tour frequency. Everything else should be normal, shouldn't be a problem. And we'll go ahead and put that in there. It's going to be low prestige, which is fine. I think our highest prestige is Enzo's heavyweight belt. Can I see... What was this prestige started at? It's actually lost prestige, though that might have been actually with Nick Aldis as it. Well, 71, 75, so we kind of had to move it. But it's going to, that needle's going to change very quickly. I have a strong suspicion. Same thing here, the prestige of these titles are going down a little bit. Women's is holding steady. We're losing some prestige. I think it's just because we haven't changed it in a while. Tyler Bates had 5 defenses. I know the prestige jumps up, I'm pretty sure, from quality of matches that are put on with the belt, but also if someone with a high popularity gets the belt in a very good match. So something we should look at. I mean, he had a pretty good run. I think it's probably time to move him on. We'll see. Might be time for Will Ospreay to take it even. I would not hate that. But anyways, so what we're going to do with the North American title is mid-card. What we're going to do is we're going to do a tournament. 8-man single elimination tournament that will lead up to our pay-per-view. So we'll have to obviously plot that out. We have, I think, 3 shows to do it in, so it shouldn't be that bad. I'll do the math real quick, but we shouldn't have a problem. We'll lead it to a finale at the pay-per-view, and the winner of that match will get the title. And, we'll now have a mid-card floating title that more people can kind of compete for. And that'll be good. That should be fun. All right, let's go ahead and let's fast forward, see what's going on in the news, and then we'll book this show. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So 58% backstage rating is awesome. Much better than we've had before. So I'm super excited about that. Let's go ahead and this is interesting. I could just go with a hardline stance and just say, if you're unhappy, leave. And that would be interesting. But I don't necessarily want to risk everyone leaving. I don't want to clear the air because that's actually going to lower our backstage happiness. Let's do a rib. Do a little practical joke. Find someone who's Bull's annoyed. Let's do a little rib, little practical joke on him. Good. There you go. He was happy with it. He thought it was funny. Candice LeRae enjoyed the rib. She thought it was funny. So boost him up a little bit. That's not that bad. All right. There we go. So let's see where we're gonna be here. Columbus Junction, once again, the old stomping ground. Expecting 1,600 people, and we're gonna have in front of 1,500. That's not bad. Okay, good. What does that cost us? Cost us 4,500. Man, yeah. You know what? Making like a 2,000 capacity venue would save us a lot of money in the long run. And we just have to deal with growing out of it eventually, but that's not the end of the world. Because if we're only pulling 1,600 a night, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm just gonna have to suck it up and do it. I don't think I can do it right now, though. No. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and let's set this up and let's book this show. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back to run our episode of Starrcade. So we started off with Billy Corgan coming out, and he introduces the North American Championship, has it on a pedestal, and unveils it, whips off a sheet from it. And he announces that there's going to be a tournament leading up to the next pay-per-view, a North American Classic that will have eight participants in it that will lead to a final at the pay-per-view for the North American Championship. So this did okay. Corgan's he's not great on the mic, but he's what we got. They get the crowd hotter, though. And then off-screen, what we ended up having here was the participants being announced on the Titantron. So we had announced here Adam Page, Tim Storm, Nick Aldis, Icarus, Bull James, PJ Black, Simon Gotch, and Chuck Taylor are all going to participate in the tournament. And the other major announcement is the entire first bracket of the tournament will all happen tonight. So 4 matches leading to the semifinals next week and the finals at the pay-per-view. Nothing really noteworthy here, but, there we go, D-. So we start off with the first qualifier. It's Adam Page versus Simon Gotch. And what we end up having here is a decent match, subpar wrestling. You know, what are you going to do? They're both about evenly paired. Yeah, altogether. But I put it as a work the crowd match. Apparently, though, they were already hot. I did not expect Billy Corgan to make them hot. Woo, shocker. D-, though, not horrible, but not a great match. Simon Gotch is improving his performance skills, so that's good. 12 minutes, pretty decently long match, actually. I think it might be the longest match that we had. I think I only set it for 10. They must have went over. But Adam Page moves on, defeats Simon Gotch, and moves up to the next part of the bracket. Then we have a little Enzo promo time, who doesn't have a match tonight, but as we know, Cody Rhodes is number one contender, and we'll be fighting him at the pay-per-view. And, you know, he comes out and he cuts your very typical Enzo promo. Nice, you know, 10-minute promo where he's just really talking shit about Cody in any way he can. You know, talking about, he goes into detail about WWE, and talks about, you know, how, you know, Cody thinks he wasn't one of the boys back there, but Enzo knows from not being one of the boys that Cody was just another golden child, third generation, with a stick up his ass that decided to leave because he wasn't happy with the spotlight that he was already given that was shining on him. You know, Enzo says that he was never appreciated, never respected, and he's going to prove at the pay-per-view that he has more talent in his finger than Cody Rhodes has for his entire career. So, you know, the typical trash talking, but basically he's got kind of a disdain for Cody, a little bit of a chip on his shoulder about, you know, Cody's indie push minus Enzo's fall from grace. Got the crowd hotter, and he came across really well, which is not surprising. B-. I mean, you could put him on a mic and, you know, you're going to get gold. We might as well just have him on the mic every night, and if we could get a B, would be great. Enzo Amore ruins the NWA belt storyline advances here. So we move on to another match. Extremely short and kind of a surprise. PJ Black versus Bull James for a qualifier match. PJ eats the pin after Bull James... Actually, he doesn't eat the pin. Bull James absolutely decimates him, knocks him out, throws him out of the ring, and wins by count out. It got... PJ debuted. It got an awful rating for his fan favorite gimmick. They are both evenly matched, but I do want to develop Bull James, so that's why we're going to push him a little bit harder in the tournament. I think there's legs on him. You know, he's got some good menace, some good technical skills. He's fine. 33 ain't bad. And he's relatively young, so, you know, the match isn't great, though. That's the shame. PJ is improving on his performance skills, though. That's good. That's good. Eat the pin. Job for this, and I'll owe you one. So we have a quick, short match here. Chuck Taylor defeats Tim Storm when Tim Storm was disqualified when Ryback ran in and attacked Chuck Taylor. So interesting, weird situation. You know, Tim Storm and Ryback are sort of aligned together in a weird way because they're both seemingly allies with the founder's grandson, Paul Pinky George III. But Tim Storm seems very angry about this situation because Chuck Taylor attacks. Chuck Taylor is attacked and ends up getting him disqualified for the attack because Ryback blatantly comes into the ring to attack Taylor. It does not seem like Tim Storm knew this was supposed to happen or even was going to happen, and he seems very upset by it, which, of course, leads to the next segment. Looks like got the crowd hotter, too. That's interesting. Any improvements? No. So we end up having a situation in the middle of the ring. Tim Storm confronts Ryback, very angry and, very confused why he showed up. And Ryback looks absolutely pissed off at Tim Storm. This was not an attempt to help Tim Storm, as Tim Storm quickly realizes and starts backing away. Now, this was Ryback trying to pull Tim Storm out of this qualifier. They seem to have some kind of beef, though Tim Storm does not seem to realize it. And Ryback spends the time absolutely decimating Tim Storm. He starts to attack him. He starts to pull chairs out and smash them. You know, he's doing everything. He gets a table out and smashes him across the table. You know, everything he can in his power to basically hurt and destroy Ryback, or for Ryback to hurt and destroy Tim Storm. He seems very upset with him for something, and something obviously we'll find out later why, but we're left with Tim Storm laid out on the ground, injured, attacked, brutalized by Ryback. C-, not bad. Good work, guys. And then we have our main event, which is the final of the qualifiers for the North American Championship Classic. Nick Aldis versus Icarus. In a decent match, Nick Aldis defeats Icarus in 10 minutes by pinfall. Nothing special. Ooh, turf toe. What the hell's a turf toe? So Icarus injured himself in the long lines of NWA injuries. Of course, watch him be out for 40 days. Why not? Let's do it. Nick Aldis, in-ring performance 56. Icarus, performance of 38. Not bad. Looks like nothing noteworthy to say about it. C- is not bad for these two. Icarus is a little bit lacking compared to what Nick Aldis can perform with. So, I mean, that makes sense. Not bad. So Nick Aldis moves on to the semifinals, which will be happening at the next Starrcade. Yep, turf toe. D+, it's fine. You know, we sold out Columbus Junction, which is not bad. Show appeared worse because of quad. Yeah. Increase our popularity 18 regions. I mean, that seemed fine. You know, we're trying to cut costs a little bit. We're not putting a lot of our big names on there. We did spend some money to bring Ryback in there, but Ryback was really pissed off that he wasn't on the last Starrcade. So clearly, we're going to need to have them on. But that's fine. We got plans with Ryback. A lot of the time got eaten up by the qualifier, but that's fine. That leaves us some time for the next Starrcade to do something else. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, let's go ahead and check those emails. So, okay, you're injured. How long are you going to be out? Turf toe. Nothing. Okay. You're fine, I guess. Right? Injured but continuing to work. Okay. So 6 days. Okay, he's fine. So by the next little bit of time, he'll be okay. And, you know, we still have Trent. Nick Jackson's not even on our roster, but here he is. Still waiting for him to... Can I just release him? Hold on. I think he was part of that PWG. He's on loan. I can't even... Because I'm going to have him in for one show. I don't know. So, deal has 2 weeks remaining for Starrcade. Great. We're going to get rid of it. All right, guys. Well, that is it for me. Let's go ahead and we'll see you next Starrcade.